Growing up, I thought ancient warfare was all about swords, shields, and heroes in shiny armor. It felt distant, almost like mythology. But when I started digging deeper, I discovered something unexpected. The way we fight wars today, the strategies, the formations, even the use of terrain, traces its roots back thousands of years. What if I told you that a battle fought 2,500 years ago could teach a modern general more than a college degree? Today, we're going on a journey from the dusty plains of Marathon to the buzzing skies of drone warfare to explore how ancient battles laid the groundwork for the wars of tomorrow. This is the evolution of warfare. Let's begin in ancient Greece, where organized warfare was more than brute force. It was an art. The phalanx formation. Picture a wall of bronze and discipline. Rows of hoplites, Greek citizen soldiers, stood shoulder to shoulder, shields locked, spears jutting out like a bristling porcupine. This was the phalanx, a formation that emphasized unity over individual heroism. One man couldn't win a battle, but 300 moving as one, that could change history. The Battle of Marathon. In 490 BCE, the Persians landed at Marathon, expecting a swift victory. Outnumbered, the Athenian army charged, not as scattered warriors, but as a tightly packed formation. They crushed the Persian flanks and sent their enemies fleeing to the sea. That day, strategy beat numbers. The phalanx wasn't just effective, it was a symbol of democratic warfare. Every man had a role. Every step was synchronized. Terrain as a weapon. But it wasn't just formations, it was geography. The Greeks used hills, valleys, and narrow passes to neutralize larger armies. Take Thermopylae, the legendary last stand of the 300 Spartans. A narrow mountain pass turned a massive Persian force into a traffic jam. That's the power of knowing your terrain, a lesson still taught in modern military academies. If the Greeks invented strategy, the Romans perfected warfare. Their military wasn't a militia, it was an engine. The Roman legion, forget ragtag warriors. The Roman legion was a professional force. Soldiers trained relentlessly. Formations were adaptable. Officers were promoted by merit, not wealth. They created the testudo, the tortoise, where shields covered every angle. They marched in step, built roads as they moved, and carried discipline like a second sword. Logistics, Rome's secret weapon. But the true genius? Logistics. The Romans could feed, supply, and communicate across thousands of miles. They built supply lines, forts, and bridges with engineering precision. They even rotated units from the front lines to rest and retrain, a system mirrored in modern armies. Siege warfare. And when Rome couldn't take a city, they built towers, catapults, battering rams. They dug tunnels, cut off supplies, and waited. Siege warfare became a game of patience and engineering, not just violence. The legacy of Rome. Even today, military textbooks study Roman tactics. Their obsession with structure, discipline, and long-term planning still echoes in every modern army on Earth. After Rome fell, Europe fragmented. But war didn't stop, it evolved. The feudal system. Now warfare was built on loyalty. Lords called upon vassals, who summoned knights. Armies were no longer state-run, they were personal. A king might command an army of nobles, each with their own goals, tactics, and men. This led to fragmented, chaotic battlefields, but also innovation. Castles, the ultimate fortress. To defend their lands, nobles built castles, not just homes. These were military fortresses. Moats, drawbridges, murder holes, Every stone was a trap for attackers. Sieging a castle could take months. You needed food, siege engines, and nerves of steel. Defenders often had the advantage, again, showing that strategy, not numbers, ruled the battlefield. The rise of gunpowder, but the world changed in a cloud of smoke. Gunpowder, invented in China, crept into Europe by the 13th century. Cannons shattered castle walls. Muskets replaced crossbows. Armor became obsolete. Knights lost their dominance. The battlefield was becoming louder, deadlier, and more impersonal. The Renaissance wasn't just art and science. It was the rebirth of military theory, classical knowledge reborn. Generals studied Greek and Roman texts. Strategy became academic. Formations, supply chains, and fortification science flourished. The military wasn't just about bravery, it became about knowledge. The rise of professional armies, the feudal system declined. Now, kings raised standing armies, trained, salaried, professional. This allowed for national defense systems, formal military ranks, and centralized control. War became a state business. Technology and the scientific revolution. With science came innovation. Mathematics improved artillery. Telescopes aided navigation. Navies dominated. Gunpowder ruled. The Napoleonic Wars would prove it all, with mass conscription, rapid movement, and battlefield tactics that mirrored chess on a deadly board. Welcome to the 20th and 21st centuries, where the rules change again. Industrialized war, world wars brought trenches, tanks, machine guns. Airplanes bombed from the sky. Submarines prowled the oceans. No longer about individual valor, war became a total effort. Nations mobilized entire populations. Technology as the new battlefield. Today, war is often fought without soldiers. Drones strike from thousands of miles away. Cyber attacks disable infrastructure. AI interprets satellite data. Robots scout terrain. Even social media is a battleground, shaping perception, morale, and politics. Ancient lessons still apply. But here's the twist. Despite all this tech, the old rules still apply. Know your terrain. Coordinate your forces. Discipline wins. Intelligence is power. The phalanx, the legion, the fortress, all still live inside modern tactics. They've just changed shape. From stone-tipped spears to artificial intelligence, the nature of war keeps evolving. But at its core, it's still about strategy, adaptation, and the human mind. Ancient warriors couldn't dream of satellites or cyber warfare, but they'd recognize the discipline, the deception, the importance of timing. And that's the real lesson. Technology may change the tools, but it's still the same game. So the next time you see a drone strike or read about AI generals, remember, you're looking at echoes of a Greek phalanx, a Roman formation, a castle's siege. Warfare evolves, but history always whispers beneath the surface.